Okay. Someone asked me last week, he's not here now, hope he's going to listen to the tape. When I left, he asked me to speak about it. So, about brachas, you want to know when we have guests, how much not sneeze I allow to say bracha. I think I once mentioned that to you before.
How was it here, right?
That if the Rav holds that the hair is a problem, and if she's not wearing stockings is a problem. But if you don't look, close your eyes and you don't look, then it's not a problem. Give me your wife, and she's not wearing, hair is uncovered, or she's not wearing stockings at home, you cannot make a bracha. But if you don't look there, look in the side, then you can make a bracha. Any woman
Even a
who
non-Jew?
That's a question, a non-Jew about the hair. But if it's uncovered, then it applies to non-Jew.
So when you're on an airplane, you gotta
Say if you don't see, I just flew back this morning, and before I sit a little this way, so I should be able to see the peripheral vision, and it's okay. That's Halacha. So
it's not a good practice to always make brachas with your eyes closed, no?
Yeah, but let's see, talking to the Bais. No. I said to him, it's not a question of bracha. It's a question of the Torah. He's saying the Torah on the table. So that's also so. I always focus. I look at my wife. I usually not. I don't have kids. I do when a woman comes, she should not sneeze. Says, "I'm sorry." The other places don't have a Yetzer Hara. Much better have a Yetzer Hara. They know to come to me. I have a Chabad couple who came to me. I said, I am so sorry. I would love to help you, but you are old. I started please come back see me. I thought for sure she's not going to come back. I came back. Came back. Just thinking. Anyway, but it's halacha not only a bracha. People think it's a halacha and a bracha. It's halacha in saying the Dvar Torah, any Dvar Torah. Saying Tehillim, saying at the Shabbos table. You want to say something on the parsha. You want to quote a sikh of the Rebbe. Any Dvar Torah. If the person is not sneezing, it doesn't make a difference. You can't say. So you have to teach yourself to look away or. What do you say? I used to give a sheet, and you asked me about, I used to give a sheet of my investor, and the woman, I give her the Rabbi Wolf sheet once a week, sheet, and I told the lady, very nicely, that she comes, she didn't know much, tell her husband, tell your wife, she has to come up, she needs to be dressed, very hard for me. Well, certain people don't have a Yetzer Hara, but the ones who still have a Yetzer Hara, this is okay. Since you say that, I want to say in Divrei Torah, something written in English is also called Divrei Torah. If you have a sefer written in English, it's called Divrei Torah. You know that. Many people are not aware about that. So you have a translation of any Divrei Torah. A book of Halachas Brachas or a translation of a Rebbe or anything. Just because it's written in English, it's called the Torah. No, the Rambam wrote the Sefer and Mitzvahs and Perek in Arabic. It's called 100% the Torah. So you can, if you have a Sefer at your night table, and you can't be intimate with your wife unless you put it kiss with a kiss. It's extremely annoying to have a Sefer.
That term?
What do you say?
Double cover.
A double cover. So the safe has to be, a double cover. Put into I put into a bag and into the, what's his name?
Cover the safe, not one
It's
cover.
a big machlokes in the machman. That since it's bound together. Some hold you right, some hold that it's a covered stuff, that it's good enough. Okay, then if you can't, the kids a safer that's written in English has the same kedusha. Talmud Bavli was not written in Mishnah Kodesh. It was written in the Babylonian language, the folk language in Babylon.
When you go into the hotel rooms, they have these
Bible.
These Christian
Bible.
They have our Bible 99% translated.
No, it's okay. It's Gornish.
Less than nothing. So I can take it on a slight side note, but when it comes to like shades, I don't go. Jack, thing is different?
Comes what?
When it comes to Seamus, I've heard that if let's say you're making copies, let's make 20 copies for this year, and you have 10 left over.
That's because it's only for the Moshe of the Tauber, that if it's only made to use once, you should put it in a bag, not throw it out directly, just put it in a bag and throw it out that way.
Even if it was used?
Yeah. It's like you want children's homework and notes, the whole that, just put it in a bag, because it's not made to learn a long time. The newspaper, I mean, you guys don't have a Chabad newspaper?
We have a hyena.
It doesn't have a Divrei Torah?
Only Divrei Torah.
Yeah, so what do? You put it to Shemus?
No, right here.
What do you do with this?
You're not
It's a big
supposed
problem.
We're going to deal with it. We're going to deal with it right now.
Halacha Moshe that's made to use once, like newspapers. In Eretz Yisrael, the many, not everyone accepted Moshe Tzak in Eretz Yisrael, they have the Divrei Torah in the middle of the newspaper, you wait to rip it out and put it to Shemus.
So it does make a difference whether it was used or not. That's irrelevant.
No, it's irrelevant. It has to do. No, some hold it was never used. It's okay. Some hold it never used. It's okay. But for some hold Moshe to use once, it's also okay.
All right.
And the question is, was it made to be used many times?
Well, this is not made to use next time.
Right, if you're not saying
7 days.
something in the newspaper or whatever, that's not called something.
One time and then you're done.
So then it,
Then Moshe just put it in a bag and you know, dispose of it. Okay. No, Shem Hashem he cannot. He's too right.
Okay, good.
That's important. Shem Hashem, it's only it doesn't have it. It has
That's Shem Hashem.
It does have the Shem. It's not the name of Hashem.
Moshe's head doesn't want things that have Hashem's name printed on
This is Hashem. Yom Hashem,
Even if it was never used.
If it's used one time,
No, it has the name of Hashem, it doesn't help.
Even if it was never used.
Even never used. It's not the name of Hashem.
but I remember you saying that there are publications like I don't know, they print Torahs and I mean not same Torahs, but they have misprints and they throw them away. They've never been used.
Not with the name of Hashem. This print is Torah, yes. If you make a photocopy of something and it comes out lopsided, everyone agrees that it never used and it was not tradition. So I guess it's supposed to be away. But the name of Hashem, you're not allowed to.
what if it's from the Kabbalah Center and it has Shem Hashem?
It could be the Kabbalah Center has the name of Hashem. You know, he's crazy and maybe he's a Choyte Machtes Rabin, but he's a Jew. Not he doesn't wish with Yahweh.
They burned the Rambam.
What?
They burned the Rambam.
They held her doing the mitzvah by that. They don't know.
But now, I'll go back to the Christian.
No, but if you have a Zohar from the Kabbalah Center,
No.
you don't throw it out?
The canoe don't throw it out, but it is not. No, I'll throw it out. It's kedusha. Not the.
But I'll go with the Christian Bible says the name God in it. Why is that not a factor?
It's Yoshka, but
No, not the first half.
yeah, it is still Yoshka, but no. Yes.
What about if you have apps that are
Yes.
where it's not,
Just read it and then throw the phone away.
or even if you don't see it, the app can be open. I mean,
Well, I heard people explain to me it's not there. When you close it, right software. You know how to write software. It's not there either.
It's all ones and zeros.
It's all ones and zeros. Right? We write software.
Potential.
It's potential. It's not it. It's not it. It's just a potential.
then how can you bench that something that's not there?
Bench. It's only words. It's helping you read the words. It's a great tool. Bench. Say, let me look at it. It's a great tool. Say, Rambam. Yeah, but when you close it, it becomes a bunch of symbols. It has potential. It's not something.
You had a magazine, right, that had some Torah, but it's mostly news. If you didn't read the Torah yet,
You're not allowed to read the Bible. You're not allowed to.
no? But what if you don't know what's there?
Listen, you're not on bathroom because it's a design for the Torah. You can't bring it to the bathroom. You can't have a newspaper where you intimate with your wife tonight. If it has the Torah in it.
That's not even Hashem's name. It's the
Divrei Torah. See, Divrei Torah has kedusha. You can, even when you say Divrei Torah is kedusha. So even if your wife happens to be not sneezing, you can't. You have to close your eyes and turn to the side. Because Torah has kedusha.
Technically, it's an ear of they are on our hypothetically.
There's no difference, right? When I was a young child, the question was the only Jewish paper that was printed was the Jewish press. There was a question of developing the Jewish press into the back. That was always the question, because they have it in Torah. Yes, so the thing that the Rambam said, if the question is not taken in, the question is that you're allowed to take it out. All right. And I just want to add, it doesn't make difference if your wife or not your wife. Your wife does not see the same halacha. We up to us Gimel.
One of those. Talk to each pay test.
This is very, very important, the way side. This halacha. He's talking about you have a bread, like a mezainis bread, or a wrap, or a pita bread with the hole, you put it in. And Ein Sumin is the Lechus about the Shiurim lifted Hamakia, when Malachta Yebusa Dugan, meat and fish, Pekiyot Seder, Lache Suba, can get satiates, Harei Zekili Suba, Lemani Navado. This is why, the Rabbi said last week, 2 weeks ago in Chabad, they held that there's no such thing as Zionist bread. Not only Chabad, most murderers hold there's no such a thing as Zionist bread. You can eat the rest of the meal, chicken and whatever, and you're going to be sober, there's no Zionist bread. The airplane used to have this Zionist bread.
So what do you do if you have that?
Wash, right?
Even though it's made out of, even though it has
it's the fish are lifted. We'll get to it again. The Rab gets to it again. Let's just focus. Let's leave that out soon. The shall liften, Feiloy, with the schreiber, the Nuzman of the Oichel, Kedala Beitzim, when you let him there, the lifting Kazer, with this liften, Achisul, and Murich and Oitzer, the Puchel, the Kem, Murich, Alech, Machet, talking. Means the liften with this bread is Dala Beitzim.
What's the lifting?
Lifted is cheese, meat, whatever you put in between, filling,
Protein.
whatever you put in milk. So it's all together dollar based and 4 eggs in total. You have to wash and bench on it.
The box of cookies also.
Yeah, well, it depends how much eat from box you're going to eat. Here he's just talking about eating a little bit bread and the rest lifting. And even if your lady's going to say you a big thing, you know a wrap, you know what a wrap is? I didn't know. I found this out a few years ago. Someone asked me the wrap, and so I asked an eat kosher to bring me a wrap. And it's a regular dough, and it's a wrap you have to wash on it and bench, which is extremely filling.
Good. Why not? Why would it?
It's a very thin wrap.
Yeah, but it's over an ounce.
Yeah, you have to wash and bench on it. It's extremely filling. There's no shallow, benching, washing. My question is, it has a good eyes, but
What if you eat it alone? Would it be the same question?
ate it alone. See, ate it alone into.
You also have to wash it.
Yeah.
So what's the chiddush here?
Kiddush is that you have to bench them at Tauber. And eating it alone, I want to explain to you something. No, eating it alone, you wouldn't have to wash the bench. It's not regular bread. It's one of the things you can't. I try to eat it alone.
It's exciting, though.
Yeah, but it's not edible. You know that? you ever asked that?
People of Mexican descent maybe in this.
No,
they always put something on it. Sure, they always put something on it.
Can you eat wrap? Did you ever try it?
It's not
It's
not atrocious. No, it's not
but people don't. I'm not in
So the truth is, when they fry it, Rabbi, it's like a potato chip. It's like a tortilla chip.
Do people eat it?
Yeah, by itself.
No.
They bring in
Normal people, but not everybody. So I asked other people. There are always people with that gesund appetite to eat everything.
Yeah, but pita bread also generally people don't eat by itself, you know.
Yeah, but it's
something.
yeah, but it's bread, treated like bread. This so thin, I don't know what it is.
Many of it is made out of corn.
Yeah, the problem is corn, that's not a problem. We're talking about the regular wrap. You eat it itself, we'll soon see that you don't have to wash and bench. You eat it the whole wrap, you have to wash and bench. Most people have no idea about it. The Rab, there's no question. Others want to say, maybe other chayim, no, the Rab says in the Elchonon and in the Seder, and a wrap, you have to wash and bench.
What bracha we make in those?
Make mazonos on the wrap.
He wants to say infant salina. You know what infant salina means? But the Rab says clearly over here, and the lady says it again.
If it was the corn, if it was
Corn, then you make just a shahaka.
what's the according to this?
Majority. Whatever the majority.
So you don't go according to the fact that it's a wrap and it's
No, I would say there's meat in it. What is there? You got
beans and rice and cheese, quesadillas.
Some have made with flour, some with corn.
Oh, dropped.
So if it's a corn tortilla,
I know issue. Just a question of adoma or shahako. That's the issue.
The wrap material itself,
Probably the best on a corn tortilla should make a shahako.
with the wrap material itself made out of
Wheat. You have to wash and bench
even without the filling.
with the filling.
Without the filling,
Without the filling, we later learn many opinions. Too many opinions.
many opinions.
Yeah.
what if they make it into a soup? They make tortilla soup.
Tortilla salad.
Well, I mean, they take the pieces and put it in the soup, and it's cooked. We'll later learn about it. We'll later learn.
Wind up the bread.
But I will later learn about that. Okay. Zug der Rav. Anyway, so he says, I say the last two lines. The fikach, I want you to see the last two lines of the words. The fikach, oichel bedalabeitzam in lechem ze im liftem, with the liftem, kazeh, at shesuva, mubrich hamoitzach muzan, and bepuch mekan mubrich halechem achet chilev. He said, if it's less than that, it's better to eat another bread, if you're not suva. Talking about to bench. The Rav is mesupik. If you eat, this is a famous suffix. Since you ate the less than the shear and you're not suva, and in such a situation, what bracha to make? But if it's dala beitzim together,
Eat it, you make for sure hamoitzi. The question is, do you bench Birchas Hanehenin?
right?
Is that what we're saying?
That's correct. Exactly.
When you eat it, you're including the wrap. Is that included inside?
Yes.
Or is it
Yes. Kind of wrap everything together.
everything together?
And if you notice, he says, look, if you notice the words of the Rav, very important, he says, L'schaye v'berchas hamozon min ha'toira. You hear it, boy, say. You go around asking people about bracha, you make a wrap, what it's called, this chicken wrap, whatever it's called, they would say, shahaka, all right.
About that there's volume of 4 eggs, including the wrap.
Wrap, which is, it's not our eggs, it's not the jumbo eggs.
Chef's wrap, you need to go and make
Well, elite cuisine makes big wraps, and that's for sure 4 eggs. If you got like a small wrap from like.
So the Rav is Masipik, then he says, better eat another bread and eat a kazayis to bench.
The suffix is whether.
You mitzarev everything together to
The
bench.
size of 4 eggs is the shaila that's the standard size. So if it's less than that, then it's a suffix.
Yes.
Or whether you're full or not.
No, less than that is a suffix. Less than that, if you're full, from less than that.
Meaning, what if you're not full?
You're not full, then he's a suffix. Since you ate so little of the wrap, he's masupik if you have to bench. You're full and you ate
And if you
for
are full, but it's less than 4.
then you also should eat another kazayis bread and something else.
Either way.
Either way.
Kazais of this type of bread, it's not enough to bench?
Yes, it is, but you're not eating kazayis.
No. Usually these wraps are kazais. They're much more than a kazais. I looked at the measurement. They're like 42 grams. A kazais, according to us, is 28.
That's how big it is, yeah?
Yeah. They're 42 grams, I think, for the normal size.
All right, we later learn. See, there's another question. See, the wrap, there's another question. This, and there's another question later we're going to see if it's a mazonis or not. A big machlokes. The Rav is going to bring soon a huge machlokes.
What about like a wonton, a crepe? That's made out of.
No, but that we explained that lokshin is pasta. It doesn't have a tzuras apas.
That's made out of flour.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a tzuras apas. Okay.
Something doesn't have tzuras pas, but it used to be tzuras pas.
If you cook it later on, it loses it. Once it's cooked, it loses it. If you take bread, your wife makes kugel of the leftover challah.
Right.
That that make a mezainis.
You are allowed? You are.
Sure, you don't make because good.
What if you eat the kreplach out of the soup?
Doesn't make a difference. Kreplach is like lakshin, a mezainis. So all pasta, everyone agrees all pasta is a mezainis. We're only talking about something that has, it's called tzerusa de nahama. It looks like bread.
With the breadcrumbs,
Breadcrumbs is bread.
they put in the soup, little crumbs.
We'll later learn if it's real bread, then it's a huge problem. You have to make a mitz on it. We'll later learn about it. The whole arichas. That's a serious problem.
So if you just go for 26 for a bowl of onion soup, it's got the French onion soup put on top of the cheese.
And they put what?
So that those croutons are definitely bread.
It's bread. You have to make a mitzi. Okay, let's move on to Bais.
So, Rabbi, you're like
I didn't hear what you said. The what?
The wraps or tortillas?
Yeah. Yeah, that's called. Okay, but now. Tzeruta de nahama. The Gemara says it means has a tsura. Tsura, you know what tsura means? Of bread. So a lakshan, pasta, all types of different bread doesn't have a tsura. It doesn't look like bread.
But a bread kugel looks a little bit like.
Yeah, but that's once it's cooked. Once you mix in eggs and everything, and then make a kula, then it loses.
If you take bread kugel and you bake it again?
If you how do you bake it? Eggs, you make a kigel. You take challahs, you make it into a kugel.
Yeah, but then you're cooking it.
Once you cook it, then it will later
Say
learn.
after you cooked it, if you bake it again, does it
The
go
what
back?
was the ingredients? Eggs.
You're saying you make a kugel, you
Yeah, you make a
it
kugel.
doesn't have a sort of possible. He's saying,
Yeah.
Something is not.
right, if you have bread stuffing that's in a kugel form, it's not.
Yeah. We can't learn everything at once. It's a whole arichas later. Zug the Rabata.
Meal bun. Like I heard that the people that eat kabraks, they make like buns out of matzah meal. So it has, I guess, called the surah of pas.
What's a matzah mibam? How does it look?
We'll make little lahmaniyot out of it, little rolls. That's not
Like
bad.
a little
If they eat the
it's
broth.
farface, like farface. Oh, wait, forget farface. This looks like a roll.
It looks like a roll.
In Israel, when you go to a Burger King on Pesach, not that I ever went, but I've heard in Israel they don't have any chametz in any of the places. So even the fast food places, they serve hamburgers on a matzah meal like bun. So it looks a little bit like
Yeah, it depends the ingredient. If it's made from water again, and then it's bread. Then it's
water mixed with matzah.
matzah. Then it's bread
And
again.
eggs.
And eggs.
I think it's potato based. What are you talking about?
No.
Matzah meal.
No.
It's a matzah meal.
Lots of it.
Okay.
The broth.
All right. I got a phone call today from an irate parent in Chabad because I told the boys and Jets that you're allowed to put avocado on the matzah, and you're allowed to put, and I told them it's not me saying, it's the Alter Rebbe. I told them after you look it up, and please then call me back. So I said, I always tell people, if your parents have a mini, I'm not talking about mini, I'm talking about says in Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch, the Rav says clearly that you're allowed to put anything that does not have water, you're allowed to put on the matzahs. You're allowed to put avocado, mayonnaise, cream cheese, sour cream. You annoyed with me, Yankee?
No, it's not. Never said my brother, we don't do it.
Even though the Alter Rebbe says, he says clearly not to do it.
Never says we don't do it.
We don't do what?
We don't pray anything on the matzah.
But the Rav says you're allowed to.
No, says you're not. Yeah,
No, in the tshuva, and he brings the chumrah now.
Shuvi, talks about matzah shuvi, and says you're allowed to.
No. You're missing the point.
Yank, I think
No.
you're mixing up.
Mixing up. The Rav in the tshuva writes why the shoyel as the Alter Rebbe, why the Tamid HaMagid were machmer not to eat matzah. The matzah bowl started with matzahs from Pesach. Everyone ate Klal Yisrael matzah bowls. To me, the Maggid came and didn't. He explains the Chumrah. But then he adds, after explaining the Chumrah, he says, this is only said if there's a mixture of water. If there is no mixture, ein lahachmer klal v'klal. That means if you have something which, let's say avocado, you're careful, you don't mix in any water. If you have cream cheese, you're careful not to eat it. Then he says you don't have to be machmer.
I remember when I was in the Chabad Yeshiva in Australia, so one of the rabbis there told us specifically you should put avocado on matzah to be mahad al Rebbe. You want to let everybody know this is what the Rebbe says.
He asked Rabbi Grogan, and your Yitzchak Groner actually said, you're right, but my Yitzchak is not understood.
He said like this, he actually made a comparison. He said the same way by Chabad on the 8th day, if you notice by Chabad they're doing gebrachs, right? We do gebrachs the 8th day. So if you ever been like a real shtakel avocado, they're sticking the matzah in like things you would never even imagine to stick it in. It's in the wine, it's in the everything. They're putting matzah. Why? You want to be mahadi, this concept of that we don't, it's not like you do it once and then like you're so it says the same thing works the opposite. You put make it.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just quoting the route that it says, ein lahachmer klal v'klal. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So the Dalet mitchila hoye b'daitoi le'echol achilas aray. By the beginning, he didn't want to eat a shir kviyas sida. They sit down. This is I want to tell this halacha. Most people don't know. If you have a house full of daughters, then you really have to know it. But if your wife is on a diet, you also have to know. And if you're on a diet, you also have to know this halacha. You sit down and you say, all I'm eating is one cookie. You ever heard that? One cookie. And then one more. So you made a mezainis on the cookie, and they decided to take a second. We have to make a new mezainis on the second cookie. No, people don't know this halacha.
How much time?
Right away, I decided I'm making this cookie. It's too good. One more. You have to make a mezainis on the second cookie.
Only if you think it, or you have to say it?
No, if you just thought about it. If my thought was, I'm on a diet, so I'm going to the chocolate. This is right, I'm saying I have, Baruch Hashem, blessed with daughters, and this was always the question. So this was the best diet, because then you have to make a new bracha, you know what I mean? It's like, but anyway, so you have to make a new bracha. That many people don't know this halacha.
This is based on intent.
Yeah, this is since I only wanted to eat one, so the bracha goes on one.
But is it, let's say you went to dinner and they gave you a plate of food and you...
No, that's a separate issue. If you didn't hear, you clearly said one. I want only one. This is very common. You're watching your diet, so I'll eat one bar of chocolate or one piece of Okay, so he says, so the Rav explains the same thing over here, you see? He says, now I decided to eat more. Now you're really in a bad shape. So the Rav says, you should be yoitze all the sekas. What should you do? Only temporary. He didn't want, Arai is not temporary over here. Snack, that's the right word over here. Arai means a snack over here. You want to eat just a snack. Okay, so he says, he made a body mizan. V'achach nemlich echoy kreisi kviyas sidak, nuchan utzedek sofik, levurech tchiles men gima mashe kvar uchol. You hear what the Rav, this is his own chiddush. Say, ala michyu what you ate. He says, v'yishamat, wait a little bit, v'yitel yodov, wash your hands, v'yvorech hamoitzi, v'yoichel ad kedei sviyah, v'yvorech berchas hamuzayin, a bench. Av shein usum mechideh shin levadeh lebetzir bechideh reshoyne, shkabir echrei ben shules, v'yishuch b'chnoim b'dal atzides lepuch, b'dal beitz lepuchis. It says, amoyre dig chiddush. I want to tell you something. When I was young, so I, sometimes in the morning, we Hungarians have kokosh cake. I don't know if you know what that is. And when I was a teenager, I was able to eat the whole thing. My father used to make me wash. Eat more than 3 slices, go wash.
What again?
It's a cake. It's a chocolate cake made out of it's a dough, a yeast dough, and it mixed in with chocolate. It's a chocolate cake.
Coffee cake.
That's what it is. Okay, and I'm just saying, so the Rav is saying, you planned to eat a little bit, and then you change your mind, you want to eat a lot, so it's a big machlokes what to do. So the Rav says, you should be yoytze all the opinions. Make ala mechio, wash, make a new bracha, and then when you finish eating, you could make, if you ate a dollar beitzim, then you should bench, even though.
$1 beitzim counting what you ate originally?
He says no, bench only.
So meaning if you had like, I don't know, 2 pieces of cake, then you realize, hey, you really want to eat more. You don't want to eat another 4 beitzim worth, you just want to eat, you know what I'm saying?
Then you're not yoytze all the shittas. Then he doesn't say what to do. It's very interesting. The Rav lets you hanging. He doesn't say what to do. In the Shulchan Aruch, it's a big machlokes. And the Mishnah Berurah says, I remember what the Rav says, but the Mishnah Berurah says very clearly, you have to, wash, make a new bracha, and
Wash, make it mamaitzi.
you have to make a new bracha because the bracha you first made to eat less than a shear, it doesn't go only onto this. This is very important. I want to reiterate this. If you plan to eat only 1 cookie, 2 cookies, you change your mind, you have to make a new bracha. This is very, very, very important. So he says, make alamichyu on the first, since you didn't plan to eat the kviya seder. We're talking about these weak breads. We're not talking about whatever we're going to see all these breads, what he's referring to. And then wash, and if you eat now a new sheet of dollar beitzim from the whatever you're eating, then you should bench.
Let's say you don't. Let's say you just have 2 more pieces.
Then he doesn't say what to do.
Why would you even wash then?
Well, you have to wash because you're eating a kviya suda. It's like a guy forgot to wash the beginning of the meal. See, let me explain. If you really want to get confused, I'll tell you what the problem is over here. This is the problem which the poskim have. We're talking about a cake, a bread, that if you eat a little bit, you make a mazonis. Okay? So if I ate, let's take, what is the favorite cake that people have?
From the least bakery.
The croissant you have to wash. It's extremely falling. There's nothing.
You have to wash the croissant?
Always?
Really?
Why?
I don't get it full.
It's bread. You don't get full on one?
It's a big one, yeah. It's a big one.
It's like, a croissant should be the same as a Danish. So you wash
Okay.
yeah.
Let's talk these chocolate danishes. These chocolate danishes. Okay. They're the bigger ones, the smaller ones. So now, if you would kvei sud on it, you sat down, that's you ate kashit dollar beitzim, and you got full. Everyone, the Rav says, you have to wash and bench.
But those are not 8 kazaysim.
No, if you eat enough, dollar zaysim.
4 kabayas, 8 kazaysim.
4 small, not zaysim, 4 beitzim, I said, but zaysim, 4 beitzim. 4 eggs, which is not so much, according to the if you sit down, probably these big danishes, you have to wash.
Danish probably is 8 ounces.
8 ounces. Okay.
Yeah, it probably is.
8 ounces is.
One second, so if someone picks up two Danish and 2 Schwartzes.
You know these big danishes?
Walking at a cinnamon, they're driving to work, eating it in the car. That's
To wash, you have to bench.
One second, but Kaveh Suda, does that,
Eat 4 beitzim, there are
that's
paskins.
just a volume, or is it like also a mental thing, like, oh, I'm sitting and having a
No. If you get full, if you get satiated, there are paskin. If you got satiated, you got full, you're sveya. If you eat the 2, it's a typical motion. You're full. They're very filling. For me, it's very filling. Not you have a better appetite than that. Isn't 2 of them filling extremely? So.
Especially the Schwartzes, they're very heavy.
So anyway, so you have 2, and you eat 2 driving to work. You have to wash and bench.
I didn't say I did.
Empty salon.
Same thing goes to like muffins.
Muffins also. The muffins is very filling. You ate 2 of those big muffins. They're very filling.
Yeah.
I don't like to eat them because but I recently at a bris I like to eat it because I ate one recently.
Blueberry muffin.
The blueberry is very filling. I ate one. Very heavy on the stomach and it's filling.
Brand muffin.
I don't know, I'm just saying, if you eat sheer, so the Rav says, if you eat sheer dollar beitzim and you're full, you have to wash and bench.
What's
I know it's a big chiddush.
This whole thing where you start halfway, you know what I mean, and then you realize you bought 2 Danishes, one for your coworker. You eat one, and you realize, you know what, that other one looks pretty good. And you know what I'm saying?
That's what he's talking about now.
I know, but it's
what do you do? So this is the problem which all the poskim have.
You're not going to go and make an alamichia and then
So the Rav
two
says
more Danishes, you need just that extra
he
Danish.
doesn't say what to do exactly. That's the problem. He doesn't say. Well, Mishnah Berurah says that you don't say alamichyu, wash, and eat the next Danish and make your bench. Right, together is the alabeitzim. He's asking. Let's say, no, 1 second. Let me give him a good motion. The first each Danish is 2 beitzim. So he was planning to eat only one. Then in Yiddish, there's a saying: with the eating comes the appetite. And now we start eating, now we have an appetite. So now he says, forget it, I'm going to finish it. The Rav says, what you should do is make alamechyu, and then wash, and eat 2 of those Danishes. So if you, now he's asking, if you don't do that, the Mishnah Berurah says, don't make alamechyu, wash, and finish it, and bench.
The bench will go on both.
Both.
Why can't you?
You make a motzi.
Wash, make something, you don't just make a...
I don't understand. If we said that if you eat a cookie that you didn't intend to eat originally, you have to make a new bracha on it, right? So why would you say here, you ate one, you didn't intend to eat the second one, so now make an alamechia, and then make a new bracha and another alamechia.
The problem is that now you really surveyor, and now it needs a benching, because you really were kaveh suda, you ate these 2 Danishes. It's like, see that.
Say that you have to make bracha if you didn't wash.
No, we're on the benching is benat Torah, and the benching benat Torah now you made it al michi not yoytza. So now I'm really full. This is a question which all the poskim have.
So if a guy made a mezainis and ate 3 Danishes, and then he realized, oh, I should have washed, but I didn't.
Then he has to make
Now
bench.
he has to bench Birchas Hanehenin.
Yeah.
Even though they never washed,
Right.
never said I'm going to.
Right. That's a guy. A guy asked me this, called me up. I sat down. I'm almost sure. I realized after me, I didn't wash. I was Rangton and a schmooze. Right? And I said, just because he didn't wash, you don't bench? Of course you bench. He was talking about eating at a bris. Totally forgot.
Should you go wash and have just a crumb and then go ahead and bench?
No, once you finished eating, there's nothing washing, doesn't help you.
Let's say you got like a bracha on a piece of food, you should make a bracha.
Then, because there's one shitta that holds that the brucha of Birchas Hanehenin goes on befreya. That's why the poskim say you should do that, but not washing. So before I get to it, this is, looks like it's hard for you guys to accept it. If you 2 Danishes, wash and bench. Maybe we should have a party. The next Suda you guys have together.
Now 1 second. Do we say that the volume of the Danish has to be
4 beitzim, 4 beitzim.
The 4 beitzim, or do you say like let's say it's a custard Danish? We learned before where like the wrap, you have stuff in it.
That's
So
together, all together. The Rav says all together. You have 4 zeis and
The
beitzim.
cheese Danish, you're measuring the cheese. And
Right, exactly.
And even if the bread
It's almost like it's all
Right.
Even if the bread is made out of juice.
Yeah, that will see that's more chomer. Danish is.
They make a specifically a Danish.
Yes, doesn't make a difference. If you ate a sheet,
And what's this year? 8 ounces, you said?
no, how much is a Chon Chabad? It's
28 grams
a gezayis, but a beitza, how much?
So 28 times 2.
So it's. I'm sure you don't have an app on that. How much you're going to the Sheikh Chabad is a beitza? You don't have that?
It's easy retroactively to say, I ate this much, I feel sad, and or I feel satisfied. Retroactively, you can say, I know how much I ate, and or I feel satiated. But at what point in the middle of that, you decide, because you munch, people just munch and nibble.
That's the
hang
problem.
on, I need to wash. I'm just
That,
approaching.
you're right. You're very right. You're very right. This is why when you sit down and eat cake, you have to conscientious know. If you eat a lot, you can. Since I was young, I learned this halacha. I'm very careful. I just came. I flew in this morning. So I had cookies. I only ate a few of them. Knowing that I start eating more, I got a bench.
It's like a good firm diet.
It helps the diet. Yes.
There's Spanish finding a way because, like you said, you had a few cookies, right?
If you wear a sheet ichel, you wear a sheet ichel is an hour you wait. So, yeah.
Does that apply to anything does that apply to anything that's mezainis?
Yeah, well, not all mezoinuses. No, it's talking about mezoinus, susi, not all. The Rabbi is going to talk about barichas gudel over here. What mezoinus?
What does it mean to wait here?
Wait a little bit. I don't know. He doesn't say how long to wait. He doesn't. And this is his own chiddush. This is his own pshor. The poskim is a big mavuk about to do.
it's done basically for to be satiated.
No.
Together, 4 beitzim and a satiated. No, together.
If you're not
Oh,
satiated,
done
you can't
basic and
You can't, then you shouldn't bench on such bread. Right, if you're not doing.
When you have time to enjoy your food,
What do you say?
when you have time to actually enjoy your food, you know.
You just wash before.
Wash.
See, I think that's the answer. Just wash it.
Yes, you wash. You enjoy your food.
But can there be a concept of someone who's not satiated by the dollar base?
But then he says 6, then you have to, and even you're not satiated.
6 is the minimum for anybody.
Yes. It's also sofik. He says you should avoid it, but if you're 6, that are, but you have to be at least 4 and a surveyor. To bench.
What if you have 4 but you're not full?
Then you can't bench.
Yeah, but you make all mechia?
You should make alamech. Yeah.
Why do you stop eating? What are you eating? What do you mean? That's
Okay, let's move on. Now, ilahem min alachmem. So I want to tell you 2 things we learned very important. Yeah, Nochem. 2 things. If you nash and you had a mind to eat 1 cookie, and then you have to make a bracha on the 2nd cookie. Now, most people don't know this halacha. It's chocolate also. You know, Purim. Only 1. You know, only all the nash.
Right.
Only 1. And then it's too delicious. Another one, you have to make a bracha. Second thing is what you learn over here, that you eat a wrap with all the inside, you have to wash and bench. If you have no idea about this. Okay. Unless you eat, what he said, the corn wrap. Corn wrap it's called, whatever it's called. Made of corn. Yeah.
Even if you do it twice, only 1 main shalosh. The after blessing, only
If you ate 2 cookies, you made.
Yeah, only make 1. Right. If a guy went to the bathroom, forgot to say al shiotza, then he goes again and makes 1 al shiotza. A guy forgot to make ate a cookie. It's important when he asks. He ate a cookie and he planned to eat only 1. Now he eats another one. You have to know about a mechi, but you make mazonis, but a mechi you only make 1.
If he remembers, meaning before he takes that second one, he's about to make things. Should he make an element on the first one before? No need to do that.
Okay, so the Rav. Ilahem. What? Yeah, oatmeal you can have as much as you want, and all the cereals you can have as much as you want, and lakshin you can have as much as you want.
So why is the wrap called? That's called sur sapas?
Yeah, look, it's a very thin bread. It's made out of bread that has a certain. It's very thin. That's all it is. Ilahem min lachmin she'ein derech ben udon lekvei sudaleim lachmunius trunken possible bekisnem. This is the lashon HaGemara. So big. He brings all the shittas. Lachmunius I mean lachmin daken v'raken, thin and soft. She'sheblila kamer b'mayim belila raka. That means they made a very liquidy batter, not like a thick batter, like with bread. It's not made a batter, but you have a dough that you get a dough batter. It's not, it's a liquid batter. You cannot work with your hands, it's liquid. You bake in an oven. On a frying pan, b'limashke. Apishi lechem gumar in yechala in matzah. It could be yoytze matzah. Afi biken hoy ben derech rabenu lekvay sidalein lo tiknu v'rechamoytzi berchamuzan erbodim imezonis em gimat shoych geshik v'isida. So this sounds like, you know what this sounds like? The blintzes. Says he's going to talk about the blintzes in a minute. It means you have blila raka, a very, very liquidy batter.
pancakes, stuff like that.
Pancakes that way. It's a blila raka. And most people are not kvei sud on it, and you bake it, and it's not. So he says.
Why would we say people are not kvei sud on pancakes? I mean, that's a traditional American breakfast.
People are kvei sud on it.
Yeah. What? They have like 2 or 3.
My kids on Sunday morning, they're eating pancakes. That's their breakfast.
So you have to wash a bench.
What? But liquidy batter, if you're eating the batter by
So it could be today. We live in such a wealthy country that the times of Chazal, bread was bread, and this was a luxury. Most people didn't do this. Anyways, if they sit down and this is what they eat, you have to tell them wash a bench.
pancakes.
What did you say about the liquidy batter part?
So that's what we're talking about. Something that's a liquid batter. It's not a regular batter. So that, if you eat a little bit, you make a mezainis. If you eat a sheik, if you eat sudi, you have to wash and bench.
Of the liquidy batter itself.
Right.
No, of the cooked batter.
It's baked or it's baked on. We're talking about the batter itself. No. That is raw. I'm not talking about raw material. You took that liquidy batter, you made it into a bread. You made it into pancakes or blintz, whatever.
So it's considered bread pancake?
Yeah, we'll soon see it. Yeah, if it's a little oil. He talks about it later. If it's a lot of oil, what the halacha is.
So if you're having blintzes for breakfast,
Blintzes, but it depends how you make the blintzes. We'll soon see it. The next piece, geen trunken. The Bais say, geen trunken. He's going to explain what it is. It's a loshon like Gemara. Trunken is a name of bread. Shabalala and kemer b'mayim belila rake yoyse medai. Extremely liquidy, he says. El sheshavkan l'toch guma, you put into a hole, v'chol shebekira oitanen, at shenasa av ktsas achafia. They have a liquidy batter, and they put it into the oven, and it becomes a little. Someone told me the Yemenites do it. That's what someone's told me. They take a very liquidy batter.
They pour it on a hot oven.
And they put it into a triangle thing, and they eat it. So
it's called lachuk. No, not jackfruit. Something else. It's called lachuk. Lachuk, yeah.
and they make a liquidy batter, very liquid.
And it's like a bubbly.
That's what someone told me.
Yeah.
Someone, I never saw it, but someone told me that it's so you see it. That they have this. That means it's a very liquidy batter, and no, and they pour it into a oven, and it comes out in a triangle, sort of to say. So that's with one of the shittos that if you eat a little bit, you make a bezoinus. Eat a lot, you have to wash and bench.
What the consistency of the batter matters. There's source of hot.
But that's that's a big machlekes. Okay, let me introduce this. Rabbi say, this is a huge machlekes in the paskim, and the Rav is extremely machmer. You hear Rabbi say, many hold any bread that's not the derech to eat a meal, it's called a possible bekislam. You know, the Sfardim hold, and I give you a Moshe, the Sfardim hold matzah a whole year round, you eat a mazonis. Do you know that the Sfardim hold that way? And Ashkenazim don't, the Rab does not hold that way. But many Achronim, not just the Sfardim, held that way, that any type of a bread which is not made to eat all year round, Moshe, no one eats matzah. No one eats matzah. So, it's because we have that. So such bread becomes a mazonis. The Rav clearly does not hold that way. He holds matzah, you make a moitzi, even though, since it's a belila over, it's only if it's a belila rak, a very, very thin batter. That's what we're talking about. Chenim shofach, harber toch hamachvas, ashenas afksar achafir, shekroy the blintzes, he calls the blintzes too. Aber mloi shofach toch gime, elegab karka akira, vatana mespashet sham shenas dag me oit achafir, hi nikras trisa, terislechem klal in yen chal en worchem eilbodim and mezonis and give the grubesid aleim. He seems that they used to do the same thing and it'd be very thin. Very. The wrap is made. How's the wrap made? A blila raka, a blila over.
I think the thick.
No,
I don't know.
no.
I don't know. I've never seen them make tortillas, but I will tell you that there's here on Pico Boulevard, there's two Persian places that make this thing called sangak. And it's a bread. If you watch them make it, it's unbelievable. It's literally like a liquid dough. They throw it into an oven which has like bumps. It goes around in a circle. It comes out, and it's exactly like like
They
stretchy,
pour it?
doughy bread.
They pour it?
They pour it onto a no,
Like a plate.
sangak. And they slap it in. It's mamish like a liquid dough. Very. It's not lavash. It's sangak.
Why did someone find out how they make the wrap?
Or crepe, for example.
What's crepe again?
A crepe is
It's a very, very.
it's a very thin batter. Much thinner than a blitz. It's sort of like a blitz, it's thinner.
So this is what the Rav said. If it's very, very liquidy, and it's very, very thin, you only make a mezonis.
But only if it's not poured
No. He says no matter what.
It's like the Moroccans, they have something like that.
Eat a lot.
They flip the pan and they make it one.
What's medawa? What's
No, not medawa. The Moroccans, they have something. How do they call it?
Cribs use a lot.
I don't think. How do you decide what's thin enough?
It's a Lashon Gemara. It's based on the Gemara. Yeah, why don't you find out the wrap? I think the wrap. How do you make a wrap? Someone should do the homework and find out.
Wrap is a real.
It's a real dough, liquid batter. Okay, so according to the Rav, once it's a regular dough, it's not liquid batter. There's nothing to talk about. You have to wash and bench.
Then according to the Rabbi, there's no question that matzah you have to wash.
There's no question matzah you have to wash the bench. Egg matzah is different. But regular matzah you have to wash the bench even a whole year round. And anything he learns, the Rav learns, it's only if it's a very liquidy dough. The question, how liquidy it is. It's very, very liquidy, then you make them. But it's not so liquidy, then it's like, you said the blintzes, whatever, you just says pancake.
It's definitely very liquidy.
It's very liquid, but it's not so thin, it's thick. So according to the Rav, if you eat 4 beitzim, you have Sunday morning, tell your tzaddikim over there, wash and bench.
To make thick pancakes, the truth is you use whole milk and no water at all.
No, it's not the whole milk.
I'm just saying. So you
Make
make
baking powder, you put it in not the milk. It's the baking powder.
Yeah, but anyways, but the ladies see that even the milk, the Rav is very machmir about that.
even if made with milk.
Yeah, but soon see, the Rav doesn't have the school of which the Mishnah and others learn.
So I have to have 4 bacon and I have to have soda. I have to have both to make what if I'm not soda at the end of
Then it's a suffix.
what if I have 5?
So he says you should eat a kazai's bread and then bench on it.
Rabbi, is the threshold lower for children?
That's a big machlokes. The Bir Halacha says yes. He wants to say yes and others disagree.
Meaning, like, if a kid eats.
Yes, right. Many hold that for children you don't need that shear. That's why.
What shear do you use?
Well, but an average child will get full.
So then you're taking out the whole Tauber thing. It's just say that for children.
For children, it doesn't have that shear.
Right, but what's the shift just for adults?
I don't know. Basically,
wash for bread before and move on.
That's why this halacha is not known because it's when you're young they don't teach it to you. When you get old,
You ignore it.
you know it becomes habit.
No, it's a good question.
What is the question?
If you have to bench, you have to do minor credit.
Am I doing Shiurim every time I eat a bunch of crackers?
And you mean bench?
Yeah.
Shira malas is extra credit. Bench. Do me a favor. Forget the shira malas bench like a yid.
You have to make it with something?
If there's 3 people, yes.
But you do mine up on them every time on crackers, everything.
No, only if you bench. Now, let me explain to you something. One thing is very important in halacha, to know what is halacha and what is extra credit. Ma'am Achronim is a nice thing to do. Shira Malos is a nice thing to do. There's no obligation. Absolutely not. What's the name? Benching is a deraisa. We have things turned upside down. Ooh, he's very makbid ma'am Achronim, but other things, like this halacha they don't know. So I was saying, coming back to your question, that it's a nice thing to do. Yes, if you always wash ma'am Achronim here too. If you always say shina malos, it's a nice thing to do. But you're obligated? No, you're not. But if you ate the shear, you're obligated to wash and bench.
I think what he's saying is that the same chumras of washing mushel for a sandwich of bread is the same thing as happening with a shear cracker. Same.
Right.
Okay, that's all.
So anyway, so according to the Rav, blintzes, which is thick, pancakes, you have to wash and bench. We just said this. Sagen achre 4 ein quisir man haben können wir. Yes, cholkem omnische trise morgele und moitze werken muss man schick quisir ich mal betrinken. Even though it's so thin. Yes, doch ist der Reim, shlach schick quisir ich im shibur ich moitze rechen go mit khila. He says the amachmer, so the Rav says if you should try to even a thin dough to avoid this problem. Yes, machmir oidli fisa ist der Naschum schick wie sie der wurde gemoit weg muss betrinken. Elke Shabruse ist rake jois mit dai. Only very very thin. Eine rake.
Then you don't have the problem.
Right. Jois afshi yes legal be daim der torf of kabakar over betanen und bemachn mit maschkenas so ich sag gebile dak bei Katrice legen gummi war gemoit weg muss gesagt. Konnte this shit is very machme. Anything that becomes a little bit thick after you have to make a moitzevach as a Muslim. Anyway, so the kitzer, according to this pancakes, you have to make. The only question on pancakes you're asking now, did you put eggs into it? What did someone say?
Yes.
So now we're going to learn about eggs. One egg?
One egg.
And water, what do you put in water?
Most recipes call for 1 egg.
And what else? Water?
It's a cup of flour, a cup of milk, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, or 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a little bit of sugar, a little salt. 1 egg, and 2 tablespoons of oil.
Wow.
And chocolate chips. No water.
So this is the next, the next piece he's going to talk about it.
The fact that it doesn't have water, doesn't it make it a multi?
What?
The fact that it doesn't have water, doesn't it make it a
I'm sorry, so that's the next piece. The next piece. He says, "Chema shenoshir kvi sida belachmuni yasi balil rakios medai shnas kiken dakim yoid fi katrisa afen balil rakios da teulich the ben shlachen kim das." Bekitzer, he brought 3 shitters. I don't want to go into all the details, but if it's very thin, so this till now we talked about again without eggs and anything. Now the Rav talks about what happens now the blintzes, the pancakes if you don't put water. Pas Habu Bekistnem. That is now Yesh Mefarshim. What is Pas Habu Bekistnem? Issa Shin Loisha Bechulav or Bechema. Milk and butter or Bidvash or Beshemen, Beyain or Beshamei Peris, and Beitsim, Beshimen. She'ein Esila Kviyasida. You don't make it a Kviyasida. So according to this, that if you make it pancakes, the pancakes is differently. They have to be understand. We're talking about you're making a regular dough with eggs, a regular dough, like the pizza dough, which they tried to sell us. They put in apple juice. I spoke to a guy 25 years ago, told me the guy who had the pizza shop in Manhattan told me himself that you can't make a pizza with pure apple juice. It doesn't taste good. So they add a little apple juice that you should think it's apple juice. If you want it, yes. That's just about it. But anyways, so that we're talking focus about like you mamish made a dough with no water, milk, eggs, honey, butter. That's what the whole dough, thick dough. The pancakes have both malas. As the first thing, it's a bli rak, and the second mala. Let's see what he says.
But it doesn't have water.
Doesn't have water. He says, "Kirov b'nei Yehudam kosem in miyat in kobasi de ela pasha noshe b'mayim levadoi." Most people don't eat bread that has eggs in it. Most people, it says. The egg challahs, I asked a baker, the majority is water. Do you know that? You eat at challah, you know what the majority of egg challah is? Water.
What's the difference between the egg and water?
They added a few eggs. You guys don't know? A little color, and texture, a little different. That means if you add into the dough, let's say you make a dough and you add cocoa to it, into the dough. So most people, we eat cocoa or cinnamon into the dough. They're not going to eat it for breakfast. It's the whole dough is made that way. That's called the second opinion called passable bekisnem. If you eat a little bit, like kokoschke. Kokoschke, even they do put in today eggs and other, but originally in Europe, they were not so, they couldn't afford it. The dough was made, water and flour and chocolate in it.
What's kisnem?
Kisnem, the word kisnem, there are one explanation is what you put into the dough. You sweeten the dough. Kisnem is a word which is a machoikis. It's a loshen haGemara, and it brings many opinions what it means. So now the first opinion means that's a regular dough, milk, water and thing, and instead of using water, you used milk, but it's a dough, not a liquidy dough. Regular dough, you understand? So if you have a pizza, it's a regular dough, but if you really put in only apple juice, only eggs into the dough, that's the question about brachim and thing. So if you create Suda, you make a moitzi. If you eat a little bit, you make a mazonis. Now listen to this. Yesh, cholken, v'omen, and shemvorcha moitzi. You make a moitzi. Bercha muzon, alpazi, ki eine doi lachmuni is to drink. And sheroben in koben zi, der mach v'shini belarus and griesa. The Rav says that the first case is very griya. It's very liquidy. It's nothing. That's people don't eat. But this is a regular dough. Just because he didn't use water, use milk, and use eggs, it's a regular dough, he says. So according to one opinion, if you make a dough which is made with milk, you have to wash and bench. The Rav says. There's another opinion. You understand? In Pasabu Bekisnem, there's now two opinions. You follow what I'm saying? One opinion is if the dough is made with milk and without water, it holds a mazonis unless you eat a lot. And one holds no. You have to wash and bench even on a little bit. He says, what do they hold? Listen to this. It's like a pocket. You put it over with honey and sugar or shkedem. Shkedem is almonds and goizik yoitzvem shamini peristam and mili here iker ki iker es yusa edel huzon as we ele anig tonic. The main thing is not to satiate, just a tonic. Muzon is itufa v'irule v'rech halamil lifter issa. Let me explain what he's saying. Well, he's very marach over here. He says the other opinion holds that it really is they take a shell, they fill it up with all sweets, and really we should make a by pre-weights. The filling is the main. But since it's the outside is bread, you make a moitzi lechem and But since the main thing is the filling, if you only eat a small sheet, you make a mazonis. Eat a big sheet, eat a moitzi.
What's an example of this?
We don't have it nowadays.
Mushroom crepe. You mean the wedding?
But mushroom crepe you eat at mushroom crepe again doesn't have a tzisa than a hammer. It's like a blintz. Not a blintz, it's like a...
It's not extension. No, the very, very thin, like crepe.
I know what you're talking.
You know what the truth is? If you ever had like a potato dish from Schwartz's, the outside looks kind of like bread almost.
Calzone.
And it's mostly filled with... Calzone's really the same as pizza though.
It is pizza. It is.
Yeah, but if you're having it for what's inside, that's what I'm saying.
What is it? It's like cheese and sauce
It's more dough than the pizza.
But we're talking about in this case where the dough is not a real bread dough, right?
So according to this, no, he's talking about a real bread dough.
Real bread.
So the second opinion of the Rav, I want to quickly explain. The second opinion of the Rav is that if you have a real bread dough, but you filled it up, instead of making the bread dough with water, you put in milk or you put another thing, you make a moitzi and a little bit. There's two opinions. First opinion is not, the second opinion is yes. First opinion is that it's a mazonis. Let's just talk about eating a little bit. If I have a dough made with milk, it's a thick dough, and you made a bread out of it, this first opinion holds that you don't make a moitzi and you don't make a mazonis. The second opinion holds, since it's a thick dough, nothing to talk about, you make a moitzi and you wash and bench. They hold the kista means a very thin dough outside, regular bread dough, you fill it up, and the main eating is for the filling, so you make a mazonis on it. But if I listen to this, what he says, I want you to read this. Look at the line. The main eating is to enjoy, not to satiate. The outside shell is a tuffle. He says, really, you understand what he's saying? I filled up the filling with all the sweets. So really I should make on the sweets a bracha and forget the outside. But since the outside, the chameshes aminim, I must make a mazonis.
Right, that was the premise.
So now, but if I get foods, I eat a lot, the chayin. Daily will I wear mazonis, alam ich abaloi moitzi, weil ich ma'at shioich shik vi yisida, she'osi yisida ikasida salav. So he's saying, so according to this shitta, this is what I said you should wait. This shitta holds, I have a regular dough, but I filled it up. The inside is the filling. You should make a mezainis. That's why I said to someone that this is, according to this shitta, you put it into the salad, bread croutons. You know, and according to this, you want to make a mezainis on it. Only a mezainis. But the other shitta sold, you have to make a mitzi. This shitta, the Rabbi she quotes, is based that he says since it's a regular dough outside.
One second. But we're talking like a dough made with milk. This is croutons.
No, you're not paying attention. The first shitta talked the dough made out of milk. The second opinion is the dough made out of milk is a mitzi. This is talking about a regular dough.
The salad is definitely
the ikr. So you just make him a zionist. That's what he says. Now, I want the last line. Look at these words. This is why, according to Chabad, there's no such a thing in pizza. You don't wash and bench. Look at this line. Me'ein b'chlal zeh. You have this line, the last line? Isa ha'memilas b'shumshumim she'oisim b'pirim, which is called the homantashen. Memedinis ili she'eni kirusel aning etaning ele muzoi ilazbiya. He says, if I make a tash, you know what a homantash means? You know what a tash means? A pocket. So if I make that homantash, the pocket, and they used to put in some sesame seeds, or you put in whatever you put in there, it's not made to nash, it's made to fill you up. He says you have to wash and bench. Even one. Perek doesn't look like bread. I said it often. Crepe doesn't.
I don't understand how you got from this line that pizza cannot be.
The what? Crepe doesn't have a tzirusa de nahama. Doesn't have a bread crumb on it. It's like lokshen. But the Rav says if it's made not latainik, it's made to fill you up. It doesn't make a difference. Then like a pizza is not made. No one noshes. Listen carefully. No one noshes on pizza. Yes, even Daniel. You know, it's not. No, listen carefully. No. Listen, you just ate a meal. You're not gonna nash on pizza. Even Daniel, with the greatest appetite, you nash on sweets, but you're not. You have no appetite for pizza, for this tiny pizza. Pizza's made. I'm hungry, not enough hungry, so I'll eat a pizza. The small pizzas. That's why everyone quotes this Rabbi. The Halacha quote.
Thin crust pizza from Basil and Berry.
What is that? It's not made to nash. See, it's made. What is it made? It's made not after the meal. It's made instead of a meal. You don't want to wash. You don't want to. That's what it is. The Rav says you have to wash and bench. So this is very important. So that's why, according to Chabad, there's no such a thing on a pizza that you don't wash and bench.
Anything that has the tzura pas that's made to be konei suda with.
Right. The only question is if the whole dough. Let me just finish. The whole dough was made from milk. He brings two opinions.
That's the apple juice. Whatever.
Right. That's two opinions.
It's got to do with the shiur, how much you wash them.
Yeah, and that's why he says later Yerushalayim should try not to avoid this. He says it all the time. So pancakes has both malas. You don't add any water, and it's very liquidy. So there, if guy wants to be makel, not to wash.
But that's only if you eat one.
Only if you eat one.
Under 4,
Yeah, that's only if you eat one. But if you kvei sud on it, we just said.
Rabbi, it's like a funnel cake.
I don't know what that is. What's funny?
They're actually hard to come behind, but they're like a pizza.
Pico Cafe makes one.
It's almost like a pizza with ice cream. It's a dessert. But it's the question at Conveyance that they were having is no one sits down to eat a funnel cake as a meal.
I don't know what it is.
Funnel cake will fill you up. It's a lattice work of dough. Deep fried, sugar, ice cream on top.
But you're not going to eat it, one second, you're not going to eat it after a meal, correct?
The truth is it can be eaten at both. It's a dessert, but you can sit down and eat it.
People also eat it just after eating everything. So then maybe you're right. Then it goes into how's it made. So I just want to make things clear over here. I know it's confusing. So I want to go over the halachas that you should remember. First thing you remember, if you make a bracha on one cookie and you eat a second one, you have to make a new mezainis. Nothing to talk about. Second thing is that if you on a pizza, according to Chabad, you have to wash. There's no such a thing not to wash.
The people that don't wash
is amaratzis. It's based really. It's based on one shit in Shulchan the Taz, but no one paskins that way. No one paskins that way.
It's not just Chabad, it's everybody.
Bir Mishnah paskins the Chomra.
I understand saying that Chabad always washes for pizza, but I grew up in a non-Chabad school, and many people
based on that based on a Taz. I mean, they don't follow the Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says that clearly that you like the Shulchan Aruch. Says you have to wash the bench.
Who says one can make him a because pretty much the whole.
There is not the whole front world.
There's not one place that sells mighty pizza.
That's not true. And I was a young. I don't know. There used to be signs all over from Debetzinov. When I was a young boy, you have to wash the bench on pizza.
Yeah, you can't find them.
So, anyways, I'm saying So, bekitzer. So that's another thing. This third thing we learned: if you have a dough made strictly out of milk. So that's two opinions.
or apple juice or something.
Apple juice, so two opinions. So one opinion says you have to wash the bench on a little bit. Another opinion says no, only if you have the sheet. The same thing with blintzes. So the blintzes, what you talk about pancakes, what you make Sunday, if you kvei sud on it, you eat 4 beitzim and you're full, you have to wash the bench. Question is, less than that, you could be makel and say you make a mezainis. And according to this shitta, if you put croutons into the salad, into not the soup, you make this bread, then you only make a mezainis.
Is there a shita that the croutons have enough shivus that you have to wash?
No. There are people who claim that way. The Rabbi doesn't say that. Right?
For soup and salad.
Yes, you only make a mezainis.
Visible and all that.
Yes, but the main is the salad. You're not interested in eating bread.
So, but isn't that tofu? And then therefore would just be under.
You make a mezainis. Whenever bread is a tufel, you make a mezainis, the Rav says.
What about
They're just the mezainis. Oh, let me make this clear. On the salad, all you make is a mezainis.
The mezainis on the whole salad.
The whole salad.
Oh, you can't say Adama.
You make a mezainis.
How does the this covers Adama? How does it make the Adama equal?
Because they're just like over here, but you have a thin dough. The main is the filling.
That's the rule we always learn. Even if there's a little mezainis,
Once
you only make that bracha.
well, that
You don't make
bracha.
the other stuff. So even if you could take a bite of the lettuce with no crouton,
That's a big machlokes, a huge machlokes.
it's usually on a Caesar salad. There's not crouton in every bite.
And it's a bracha batala.
That's a machlokes, big machlokes.
It's bracha batala if you make, let's say, you have
It's a
salad
bracha
with
batala.
croutons and
Nice.
blueberries and tomatoes, and you make mezainos, ha'etz.
But mezainis mixed into it,
Yeah, it's together.
you have to make only mezainis. That's a big machlokes. I have to look that up.
First bite the chapel of crouton with the lettuce.
Yes,
So then you cover it. It has everybody. It has everybody.
but I'm not sure. I have to look that up again. I know it's a big machlokes.
Rabbi, last question. At Pat's, they have a restaurant. They have a dessert. It's very popular. It's called bread pudding. Okay. And the bread pudding, it's challah cut up, mixed with like a liquor, put into a ramekin and baked. So the top of it is crunchy, kind of like bread, but the inside is more.